attention to this fake Broodwar news that Zero's putting up here. These players are not number 14 and number 28 SL. Just because they didn't play much on the ladder does not mean that they are not absolutely the best players. They can absolutely win the tournament. They have before.
Exactly, let's look at their scores. It's like trutaCz is a winner of BSL6 and BSL7, and now he wants to win BSL8. And TerrOr is like grand finals in season 3 and every single season after that, quarterfinals at least. So it's very impressive. And yeah, this 28th spot and 14th spot, it's low, but I hope it will encourage them to play ladder a little bit more in season 9.
That's right.
Higher exceed.
Yeah, they've got to level up their stats. It's like, by the way, you won the tournament, but you still have to play in the ladder in order to get, a good number on there. So apparently people are saying that music is loud and I am quiet. Okay.
I fixed the music. I hope, I lowered my microphone. I hope it's fine right now.
Well, I was going to say, nobody's ever told me that I'm quiet before, so this is a first. It's definitely not me being quiet, guys. I am still my very loud self. And now because Nyoken's not here hogging the microphone, I can actually point it right at my face and give you guys some dulcet ASMR tones. But anyway, I'm ready to go with our map. It is going to be Heartbreak Ridge for this TVZ. And we saw some really epic TVZs here yesterday, Zero.
Yeah, let's hope they will deliver to TerrOr and trutaCz. It will be a rematch after Corrupted Cup too, so they have a lot of history playing against each other, and it was never a one-way ticket. I mean, never one player dominated over another, so let's hope they will show us some good games.
I certainly hope so. When Nyoken was here, our Terran apologist, he made it seem one-sided. But let's see what these players make it look like. So let's get into game number 1.
Let's go.
Okay, in the left-hand side of Heartbreak Ridge, in the light pink, this is our Zerg player. His ID is TT1. This is trutaCz. And on the right, in the magenta as Terran, is our Peruvian player TerrOr. So I'm really excited for this. I think these are absolutely two of the favorites for just BSL as a whole every season. I mean, in StarCraft 2, there's a player named Sue, who I guess is also a StarCraft 1 player, but he got second place more times than any other player in the world. And I feel like TerrOr is kind of like that with the round of 4. He always makes it there. There's just a few steps in between. So this is one of those steps. He's never been eliminated in the round of 16 before.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if that changes here today.
Yeah, that's a very good point. He never got eliminated. And I wanted also to point out after yesterday group that they would have round of 16 course, I think, in BSL from 2 seasons. So
yeah, I think Eon Zerg had that curse for 1 season right after he won BSL. He didn't do very well the next season. Same thing for DeWalt, and now he is knocked out in the round of 16 too. So TerrOr does not have the round of 16 curse at all.
Yeah, he's very consistent, so it shows you how good of a player, how good of a group we are having today. And we are already seeing the 12 hatch from the trutaCz, so he's not afraid of any 7 or 8 racks from the middle or something like that. So so yeah, it looks like we might have pretty standard opening from both players.
Yeah, the scouting path of this drone on the bottom is it did not scout the center for an 8 racks, which is so scary when you're going 12 hatch behind this. I can't believe he didn't just go up to the high ground and see if there was a barracks there or something. That's pretty scary. But he sees the SCV coming out on his way to scout, so that should tell him there's probably not a barracks out there.
Yeah, and now he scouts that there is a gas, so it will be 1-1-1, but recently the Terrans developed so many varieties of this 1-1-1 build. It can be like fast vultures, it can be drop from the vultures, it can be raids, it can be few vultures and then Goliaths. So it's really hard to judge what kind of opening it will be and to adjust to that. So scouting is the best way to start, but after seeing what he's seen, he definitely don't have all the information. So it will be very interesting, at least for me, how trutaCz will react to what TerrOr is doing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Zero. 111 is like a dying build. There was like almost maybe a year, 6 months where Flash was playing nothing but 111, and everybody believed it was the promised build because it just gave you so many choices. And then he played in the grand finals versus Effort and got styled on a little bit because it turns out you just have no units for a long time. Maybe your units are super cool, like Rays and dropships, but Zerglings still kill you. So, it's a build you don't see all that often anymore, but there are a lot of variations of it. I've been seeing a lot of like Goliath variations out there, but I think the Vulture drop has a lot of potential on this map because you can drop the Vultures on the high ground above the natural expansion and then either kill all the drones or deal some damage that way. But you always have to worry about just 2 hatch Muta as a Terran player, and that can be so powerful that all your fancy tech builds might not be good enough.
Yeah, and I really like that trutaCz made his lair in the natural, because now TerrOr don't know if trutaCz didn't start from the speed. So now he might be worried that it will be some kind of link bust, and he should be prepared for that. He's already walling his entrance to the natural, so it's very nice way to wall in. It's Zerling tight for sure, I think. So it's good, well done by TerrOr. But yeah, this is a very good point. This cliff on top of the natural, we can even see Terran mining the minerals and trying to sneak vultures through. So we are seeing that the overload of trutaCz is on point to scout that if it will happen.
Yeah, that's a great point. That one mineral patch is so so troublesome, because if you forget about it or you don't put a pylon or a supply depot down there just to scout it, all of a sudden everything runs inside your natural, and it's really difficult to clear that out. So both players expanding. Obviously, it was a 12 patch, so a little bit of a better start there for I keep thinking TT1, but it's trutaCz. It's trutaCz 1. That's the name of his airline. So, but on the other side, we are just seeing the Goliath build that I was talking about from this 111 with very fast Charon boosters. So it's going to be able to protect him from the mutas in theory, unless we have one of these mass muta carapace builds, and that kind of beats Goliaths pretty badly.
Yeah, it's very good against Goliaths because the mutas are very mobile. So when Goliaths are trying to move out, the mutas can just join the party in the main base and try to kill all the SCVs. But overall, I've seen that trutaCz was reacting against this build with some kind of timing attack with the Hydralisk and Queens, and I'm wondering where he will go this time, because like TerrOr is probably aiming for some kind of 9 on 10-minute Goliath timing attack. And trutaCz should be ready for that, and I'm sure he is aware of that. So I'm really curious how he will react for what TerrOr is doing, because like TerrOr is preparing perfectly against the mutants.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that build with like Hydras and even like Queens, because we do have a Queen's Nest and Evolution Chamber on the way. And this is really weird because I'm used to either 2-hatch Muta, where you try to just, go and harass and then maybe build more, or like Super Mass Muta, but not the one where you build like 6 Mutalisks and then tech immediately to Hive. So this is really interesting to see from trutaCz.
Yeah, and let's look into it, because yeah, it is Hive, so you're right. It's very, very weird build. It's the Hive before the third expansion, so
yeah.
And only
is this like
mutants.
2-hatch Defiler?
But against Goliaths, if they will make mines, it will be really easy to deny any value out of that. So that's very interesting. It might be. I'm
thinking Guardians, but that would be still pretty interesting because you're still going to lose a bunch of mutas if you try to fly in here. Although he is actually protecting the mutas remarkably well, and there's this really strong high ground that you can micro from. And it does look like it's going to be the Guardian build because he's taking a bunch of damage on his mutas, and then he's going to fly them up here and probably morph them into Guardians a little bit later on. That's my theory. Although there's a Hydra Den all the way, so I think your theory is correct, Zero.
He cancelled the Hive. Wow. Now he realized what is going on, and he cancelled the Hive. And now he's adding more drones and adding Hydra Den and 4th hatchery. So, did you see the larva build? He's doing something similar. He's making 5-6 mutalisks. He's harassing Terran, pretending that he have more, forcing Terran to make a lot of turrets, and then making and then they're making great echo and a lot of hit race. So maybe this is what trutaCz is doing.
I'm very disappointed that he did not continue that Hive. I love Hive Tech ZvT, but you're right. That's not what we're going to have here. We're going to have some very sad vultures who can't harass the southern third base. And in the top, we're having a very sad vulture that can't deal any damage because it's about to die. So, neither player has been extremely aggressive aside from that one Mutalisk flyby that didn't get a ton of damage done. Yeah. And because of all of this crazy tech, there's actually a pretty big worker difference. trutaCz is still on only 30 workers.
Oh yeah, that's a very good advantage for TerrOr, and it will allow him to add more factories. I think you can go for 6 factories from 2 bases, and he's already getting closer to the number of STVs you need to have to saturate the 6 factories. So his echo is really exploding right now. 16 STV advantage, but trutaCz is adding 11 drones right now, so he don't want to stay behind for much.
I was gonna say we figured out we did not have as good an economy as our Terran player, but we're even after those 11 drones, we're still down like 10 workers, which I'm so thankful we can tell because of this new worker counting station. And that was actually one of my favorite features added to Broodwar. And it's not too much information, it's just enough, and it allows us to do some really cool analysis. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, that's perfect for the casters. And if we would have mining per minute, it would be perfect too.
Oh,
just like in Starcraft 2, right?
I was gonna say, what do you want to do? Cast Starcraft 2.0?
Oh, never.
I was gonna say, we gotta keep this as Broodwar as possible by making every little tiny improvement totally illegal. But here we go. Muta's catching a bunch of vultures in the middle of the map. I like that he's still using Mutas, even though it's only 5 Mutas. You can still get a lot of value out of them. He hasn't lost any drones to vultures, which is pretty impressive given how active TerrOr is with his vultures usually.
Yeah, it's a very hard thing to do, and now trutaCz is adding 6 more queens, 6 queens, so he will gather energy and try to make some kind of timing attack. And it's 10th minute already. It will take some time until he will gather energy on these queens, but he's already having great, not very great, but pretty good economy to start making hit rallies. So I'm very interesting if he will have energy on time, because TerrOr is already having 4 tanks.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty scary. I mean, at least the Hydralisks will do pretty well. I don't think he wants to show the queens here, so he should probably hide them a little bit.
Yeah, but he scouted the queens with the vultures already.
Oh, did he see it with the vultures? Yeah. Okay, all right. Finally, some drones are killed, but I think it's actually, what, 2, 3 drones? Not that many. And he did kill all the vultures, so that's not that bad. Although, we're still on 38 drones.
Yeah, he's almost doubling the number of drones. Like, he's still not having the 3rd command. Oh, he's having 3rd command center. He's already flying to his 3rd base, so TerrOr maybe is waiting for some different timing. Maybe he wants to move out with like 12 tanks or something like that. He's already making 2-1 upgrades. He's having 1. So maybe it will be some kind of TVP move out, like with 2-1 and 160, something like that.
Yeah, this does feel like a TVP build. I mean, it's just a good solid timing for tanks, but these Mutas are actually keeping TerrOr back a lot, whether it's just killing the vultures or keeping the Goliaths back. But I think you're right, Zero. Once 2-1 hits, it's going to be pretty strong. Now, because of the high number of tanks for TerrOr, I don't know if we have enough queens for that. What is our queen count, and where are the queens? Let's see.
I can see 6, but I've seen that he built like 2 more. Maybe he cancelled them. Yeah, there are 2 more. So it's 8 queens overall, but there will be 6 queens with energy really soon. And we've seen that TerrOr was doing this like brilliant moves with the buildings, and now he's doing the same thing. Look at that. The buildings are on top of the tanks, so it's impossible to select them with the queens to broodlink them. So it's like actually a perfect counter to what trutaCz is doing, if you want to defend, of course.
Who thought floating buildings was a good idea? So broken. I mean, that means you just infest the engineering bay and the science vessel, right? Or science facility. Haha. Man, if you could do that, then you make infested science vessels that blow up.
Oh, that would be perfect. Yeah.
So, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I wanted to say something that like about StarCraft 2 banning drops, but I realized that we shouldn't say that.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's right. The game that must not be mentioned, even though it's literally the same name as our game.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
anyway, I like games like this where both players kind of get to do their own thing, get to play their game and their strategy and get to the best possible place. And then we play head to head, which is also almost exactly like that one game we're not supposed to talk about. But I mean, look, TerrOr is macroing like a god. He's 40 to 30 supply up right now, and it's in 2-1 mech units, which in theory are just pretty good. So, I mean, I really hope this Queen build works out for trutaCz, because if he runs up, Broodling's half the tanks and the other half of the tanks kill all of his units, he still loses. So let's see how good this is going to be.
And it will be harder and harder for trutaCz to fight against tanks, 3-1 tanks or 3-2 tanks with Hydralis. Like, even if he will kill like this 10 tanks with this 10 queens, TerrOr is already having 10 tanks, so excuse me, he's having 12 tanks already, and he's still building more. He's having 2 tanks in the main base, so he's afraid of the drop. Look how much time, how much money he spent on the turrets in the main base. That's
yeah, I think he figured out, okay, it's going to be one of two things. He saw the queens, so he's like, well, I need the buildings floating over my tanks to stop the spawn broodling. And then he was also like, well, what if he just drops my main when I move out? So he's totally safe. Both players are actually extremely safe. You can see, because it's Heartbreak Ridge, there's all the Hydras and Mutas spread all over these ridges. And I think both players are saying, okay, what is the most efficient way I can play this game? For TerrOr, it's getting high mech upgrades, and for trutaCz, it's getting lots of energy banked up on his queens. And making sure he has lots of upgrades too. So he's already on 2-1 for his Hydras, and he's also got lots of energy for his 10 queens as well.
Yeah, and the vessels of TerrOr are patrolling on top of the main base in case, like, because he can still use EMP against these queens. So trutaCz also should be careful. That's why he splitted all the queens, just to not get EMP, because his build will be crushed then.
Oh yeah, you can land a big EMP on some clumped up queens, and you just unsiege all your tanks and aim move across the map.
Exactly.
I wonder what's going to trigger either of these players to start fighting each other, because you know, there's not that many bases on this map. It's only a 2-player map, and trutaCz has more of them. So as any TvT player knows, if you have less bases than your opponent, he'll have more money than you. So I mean, this is a 3-base Terran, so 3-base Terrans are pretty scary, but let's see when TerrOr feels like he wants to move out. I guess he's just going to max out first.
Yeah, and it looks like trutaCz will max out first than him. He's already like having advantage over TerrOr in supplies. It's really weird for me. It's shocking, I would say. And he's adding some ultra damage. So I think it should be like soon trutaCz, I can see that trutaCz will add like maybe 2-3 more hatcheries, and it will be time to go, because like he should start utilizing the energy on the queens as soon as possible to give them the chance to use it again and again. And oh yeah, there will be first broodlings. Matrix is not helping.
Here comes the queens at the 12 o'clock location. They were able to spawn broodlings, several tanks there. Not sure why those overlords were there. I guess to just scout for mines. But overall, that is not a win for trutaCz, even though he did get those tanks. He's continuing to try to scourge these science vessels, but he's landed 1 scourge out of like 10, so
yeah,
nice job there. I think he's just kind of throwing away units right now. He doesn't really want a lot of Lings and Hydras, and they're basically free at this point, so just kind of A-moving to see what's up there and be annoying.
Yeah, he's having such a good economy that losing like 12 or 24 links is not too big for him. He wants to see where is the weak point in the TerrOr defense, and now he realized where is it. Oh, he have a clumped up queens, but TerrOr don't have energy in his vessel.
Yeah, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Man, these broodlings are actually going to work at this 12 o'clock base, and actually, if he gets that command center down into red health, he can actually infest it. OMG, make it happen. Wait, the broodling didn't work.
Yeah, because he parasited the tank.
Oh, he parasited it. Sorry, I didn't click it to see if it was parasited or not. I assume that when something shoots out of a queen, it's going to turn into a broodling.
And to have it, do you see we have 7 engineering base in TVZ? We don't see that very often.
7 engineer. Oh my God, you're right. Because he's just covering up the tanks.
Yeah.
They're broodling. The engineering bay is like the broodling condom for these tanks. There's
Yeah,
no
exactly.
way for them to get spawn broodlinged. That's so crazy. Yeah, tanks just murder. Oh my God, those tank shots on the Hydras are insane. How is this possible? I mean, we did see a couple of spawn broodlings there, but he's actually out of queens. He's got 4-1 ultras, and those are pretty good here. But I mean, Mech is just the best.
Yeah, Mech is perfect, but somehow like TerrOr dropped in the supplies to 150, and trutaCz is still on trutaCz is still on the same amount of bases he was, so he can produce a large amount of units.
I'm just waiting for Plague to come out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we do have defilers, but not okay. So he's gonna try to run forward. He can land a few spawn broodlings. His queens are actually like most of them don't have energy, and he can't actually target some of these tanks.
Yeah, it looks like they were playing against each other very often, and TerrOr knows what to do against this build of trutaCz, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he is just really, I wouldn't say totally countering it because he does have some tiny weak spots, but his cost efficiency is just massive. So I think trutaCz is going to have to figure out another strategy here in a little bit.
Yeah, he should do something. Oh, the queens are being irradiated, but trutaCz with excellent reaction, he even parasited the vessels before dying, so that's well done. But yeah, TerrOr is already mined out in the main base and in the natural, so he's basically mining from the third base and this mineral only, so his economical position is not so good. trutaCz is still mining from the main base, natural, third base, mineral only, and bottom right, so his income is definitely much higher than TerrOr's.
Yeah, that's a really good point to make. Also, trutaCz is mining from the middle of the map now. That is the big base. It's got 2 gas geysers. It's got room for several hatcheries and obviously, you know, the minerals. So if trutaCz can maintain control of this central base, he should be able to starve TerrOr out here.
Yeah, exactly. Especially that there are 2 Vesper geysers, so it will give him some kind of I don't know, timing bust or something like that. That he will have much more gas and he will be able to make much better units. So yeah, it's already a very good position for trutaCz.
I would love to see a switch back into either Guardians to break through some of these turrets, but obviously there's Science Vessels out there, or start working on Defiler tech. I mean, I don't think he has Plague yet, and I haven't seen a Defiler here, even though he did get the Defiler mound earlier.
Yeah, it's hard to control all these units, and trutaCz didn't. Yeah, he didn't make Swarm, and yeah, Swarm is a perfect answer. So it would be great if he would make it.
I'm actually watching Broodlings kill a tank by themselves in the upper left-hand corner. They didn't quite do it, but some Radius. Yeah, some Radius go off on the queens. We're doing an Ultralisk drop 0. Oh. It's coming to the 12 o'clock base, and I believe it will be completely stopped in its tracks. Yeah, he just turns around.
Oh, now he's going for it. And how many tanks there are? It's 9 tanks over there. They are covering by this engineering base, so we can even as an ops we can see it perfectly.
Yeah. Oh my God. So many of these. Oh my God. He lost so many ultras that were inside the overlords. I don't know if that was worth it. I mean, he did do a good job busting this position, but that was the least cost-effective thing I've seen all game long.
Oh, he's losing the queens, but he killed some tanks. Like right now, if TerrOr will stabilize his like top left base, he will be in pretty good position, and I think it will be time to go for him. Because like he can't just defend all the time because trutaCz will starve him.
Yeah, and so I think what we're gonna see is trutaCz send everything top, try to kill this 12 o'clock base, because essentially this is what matters. If you kill this base, then the upper left base is segmented off away from it. But it's just so hard to kill these tanks. Oh my God.
Yeah, even especially that the links are having only 1 attack upgrade, so the links are dealing 3 damage to the tank right now. So it's not too much. They have to like shoot 15 times. With other is a little bit earlier, but trutaCz, I think he forgot that when he just make it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think we saw a game where Avilub forgot the Adrenal upgrade yesterday, and I was like, okay, well, that's kind of playing hard mode. But at least trutaCz remembered it this time. You know, I'm not sure what the plan is. Do you drop the main? It's all turrets, but maybe you can de-web the turrets. I don't know. So now we're dropping the upper left. No anti-air here, so the command center is going to be okay, but everything else is going to get taken out. And I think that's the bare minimum that trutaCz needed to do, stop this upper left base. He keeps just throwing units into mines and tanks, and I mean, eventually, TerrOr is going to win from cost effectiveness.
Yeah, maybe, but trutaCz is also doing good job that he's denying TerrOr from having this top left base, and every second matters. Like from one mineral patch you can like mine, let's say 100 minerals per minute. So every minute he is delaying this expansion is like 700 minerals. He's like gaining, let's say. So it's still not too bad for him because he's having such a big income. Oh, 2 vessels in the middle of the map. Oh, lose one, only one lost.
Yeah, that was scary. I think he might. Yeah, the second one's gonna be okay. That one Muta, unfortunately, will die. But what do you think about this, Zero? Because I'm sure you've been frustrated many times as a Zerg player trying to kill a Terran that is just very entrenched. How do you do it? How do you kill this guy?
Actually, I don't know. I once played a game against Nyoken. Like I got like almost every base. I got 15,000 minerals, and I was making units until 200 and sending to Nyoken until I lost. Like every geyser was exhausted, and I lost the game because I was only able to make things. So I'm not an expert to ask for that because like it's so hard to do to kill a Terran. But trutaCz somehow is doing that. Like I guess you have to be very mobile. You make a lot of drops and have a great.
Yeah, another huge drop into this 12 o'clock location, and finally he found a place that didn't have a lot of turrets, so he can make this drop work. He's not actually moving most of his units up there, so a lot of them are dying. But he did kill a few SCVs. There's still 71, so that's quite a few left for TerrOr. He still can't kill this 12 o'clock base. That's so insane to me how well defended this base is.
Yeah, the engineering base are doing the work.
The most powerful unit in the Terran army, the engineering bay, and the isometric viewpoint. But hey, we're doing it again. More drops, more Ultralisk drops. And these are 5-3 Ultras, or 3-5 Ultras. And still, this base just will not die.
Yeah, TerrOr is very good at defending, but he got 12 SCVs in the top right in case he will want to have more SCVs. But he's still mining basically like only from mineral only in this third base, and trutaCz is mining from every single like other base on the map. So it's like, let's look at the supplies in 150 to 110. So maybe it didn't look this way, but trutaCz had really good trades.
Those 12 SCVs are so funny. Just watching them run up and down and up and down. This base, is this gonna get broken eventually? Some more spawn broodlings coming out. That's a good way to kill some of the tanks. And actually, I think TerrOr's starting to kind of fall apart a little bit here. He can't continue making infinity tanks with no money. And I think all the tanks are dead in the 12 o'clock location, right?
Yeah, exactly. He have like 100 supply and 60 SCVs, so that's not too much. And GG, 1-0 for trutaCz.
Yeah, if you ever wondered what it takes to kill a Terran player, it takes 26 minutes mining every base and dropping 100 Ultralisks on them. And then you're allowed to win the game. So yeah, I hope you guys wrote that down in your build order notebook. Wow, what a game. That's why trutaCz is absolutely one of the best players out there. And the BSL champion is because he is willing to go to any lengths it takes to beat this Terran scum, which I can say now that Nyoken's not here.
Yeah, but you but you can say that both players are having respect for each other because they didn't cheese each other. They played a longer game and they believed in themselves that they can win a longer game. So that's really impressive, and it's like just giving us a taste for next games.
Yeah, so the second game is going to be on the map Neo-Sylphid. We've added an extra player to the map, so there's in theory even more resources that these players can mine out before they ever fight each other. But I did like that there was a lot of respect shown from each player. It's kind of rare to see these no-rush 20 games like we kind of had that series, but we're still really cool to see both players go for different strategies and counter each other. I felt like that was really exciting to watch, and you can definitely tell that both of these players are absolutely some of the best, players in BSL. So I think I am ready to go with our next map.
Let's go.
So let's do it. Yep, the map is Neo-Sylphid, and this is game number 2 of our first match of the last group, the round of 16. All right, in the 12 o'clock location in the light pink once again, playing Zerg from Poland, it's trutaCz. In the bottom left-hand corner, playing Terran in the magenta from Peru, it is TerrOr. Yeah, trutaCz is up 1 game in this series. I definitely think TerrOr can come back, and this is a much bigger map. So maybe that will help TerrOr have more opportunities for bases to take, since he can expand kind of away from trutaCz and might be a little bit safer.
But it looks like he's going for some sneaky build. STV already almost in the middle of the match. He watched Ziggy games. I think he watched Ziggy.
Yeah, he's being scouted by the blue hallucinated Kakaru in the middle, but there it is. It expired. But where's the barracks? Show me the barracks. There it is, a good old-fashioned 8 racks.
Oh, and it
are we BBS?
Yeah, it is BBS. So TerrOr is like saying, okay, you probably will play greedy, so I will play anti-greedy and crush you. This is what is going on. Wow.
I'm so excited that we get this is our second BBS of BSL.
Exactly. Yeah, and both of them are happening in this season.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys thought that it was Bombastic Star League? No, it's actually BBS Star League. That's what the B stands for. I love it. I love 4 pools, BBSs, 9-9 gates. Like, oh, they're amazing. And you need builds like this in your strategy, because if you only ever play macro, then your opponents will abuse you. Kind of like that last game. Luckily, both players were playing a little bit passively. And, unfortunately, or rather fortunately for TerrOr, he was Overlord scouted, not drone scouted, because the drone gets there before the Overlord does. So the Overlord is eventually going to see that there's no barracks in the main. But by that point, both barracks will already have been built and be producing Marines in the middle of the map. But let's see what the reaction is, because already that Overlord is a little bit suspicious. Yeah, I think he actually doesn't think that No, he knows that he didn't spawn in the other locations, so he's just trying to save the Overlord.
Yeah, and it will be good to have this Overlord over here, because he will have minerals to like put the drone. What's the word? Like to drill the drones. And this is what he's doing. He's already drilling the drone. But there are 3 Marines already, and 2 more are coming. And there are even no links. The pool is not finished yet, and he have to fight against 3 Marines and a bunker. So this is very dangerous rush.
Yeah, he's actually not doing a really good drill on the Marines. The drones are kind of glitching out. Now the bunker's done. The Marines are inside, and the hatchery completes instead of being canceled. Oh, tragedy striking for our Polish player. And I hate to say it, Zero, but it looks like after an epic 26-minute game, TerrOr is about to win this one in about 5.
I think it's somehow fair. Like, we have average game length be 15 minutes thanks to that.
Yeah, we have like one game that's an hour long and another game that's 5 minutes, so the average is like 20 minutes. So the hatchery is dead, all the drones are dead. He's attacking the other side with 3 drones into a base that he knows has SCVs in it, which can just 1v1 drones all day. So here we go, the epic drone attack. It's coming in to the main base. He's gonna stop the SCV.
Yeah.
Oh no, but the SCV it micros to the safe side.
He trolled him. Yeah.
That's so crazy. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or accidental, but what a god. Oh no, now he's trying to kill the Marine, but he's being glitched on top of the SCV. Save the Marine in the main. And yeah, trutaCz is pretty dead.
Yeah, he's very dead. He's having only 4 links. He's making like more drones, but like half of his drones are in the other part of the map. So maybe if he would have them, maybe there would be a chance. I don't see how big of a chance, but now with only 6 drones mining, yeah, it's GG.
Wow. Okay. All right. Are we 2-0 for BBSs? I think we are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Every time somebody is BBS'd in BSL, it's worked out. Man, I think we're sending the wrong message to the youth of today. We're that edgy television show the parents tell their kids they can't watch because it's too violent and it sends kids countercultural viewpoints. We're just teaching them to do the bad builds. And I mean, you guys can try this if you want. I would say usually it is maybe not effective. Also, it does make you a bad person. But sometimes you got to mix in a little bit of that badness in order to bring yourself back in the series. And so now, after that, it is all tied up at 1-1 in this first best of 3. And this is just the series to get to the winner's match. We're not, there's no advancing or elimination. We're still in the first game or the first series, of the day. And these are 2 of the best players in BSL, and they're just going back and forth. This is really exciting. Really everything I wanted out of this series. So hopefully we get back to kind of a normal third game, but I guess we'll find out if these players want to play standard, because trutaCz could absolutely just 4-pool him in this next game. But it is on gladiators, so I'd say that's a little bit less likely.
Yeah, it's 4 players map, and it's possible to build the barracks in the middle, but now I think trutaCz should be a little bit like afraid. I'm sure that TerrOr gain respect of trutaCz after that. Like he will be playing much more safer after that build. Like even if both of them will be playing passively, trutaCz will have like 2 more links or sunken a little bit like 10 seconds earlier just to not lose. So winning this way is giving something to your mindset and to your opponent mindset. So it's definitely good to do something like that once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for now, how do you think about what TerrOr is going to do in the next game? Is he going to cheese you? Is he going to play macro? Because he's done it all. And really, that's one of the scariest things about TerrOr is that he can just play any style, and he can play that style on turn rate 8. So let's see what it looks like as we get into our final map of this first series. The map is Gladiator, and this will decide whether TerrOr or trutaCz advances on to our winner's match. All right, here in the upper left-hand corner in the pink, playing Zerg from Poland, this is trutaCz. And in the bottom right-hand corner in the magenta from Peru, this is TerrOr. Tied up at 1-1 in the final group of the BSL Season 8 round of 16. I'm watching those SCVs. I'm watching the larva. And it looks like both of our players are going to play standardly this game.
Yeah, it looks this way. So we have a type to say about it because like winner of this group will play against Hawk, but the second place will play against Bonnie. So I'm pretty sure both of them want to win this group. Like it's like, please, I want to be first in this group because like Bonnie in the round of 8, I'm sure there are easier opponents than him.
That's one way to put it. I love how graciously you said that. Probably nobody wants to play against Bonnet. It's like, would you like to play against Bonnet? But that's from a player perspective. See, there's lots of people to keep in mind. There's the casters, the players, and the viewers. And everybody wants different things. Like the viewers want blood and carnage and craziness, and the casters want things that are exciting, and the players just want the games to be as boring and one-sided as possible, because no player wants to have a really close, hard-fought battle. They just want to win. So in theory, they would like that to be as easy as possible.
Exactly.
Anytime games are really back and forth, really exciting, that probably means there's mistakes being made. No player wants to make mistakes. So probably also no player wants to play against Bonneth or trutaCz or DeWalt or and well, never mind. Eons are any of these very strong players. So a lot on the line and definitely a lot of motivation for our players to get out in first place for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And if players would have to choose the maps for the tournaments, it would be only Fighting Spirit. I think they don't like weird maps. Whenever we are doing like something semi-weird, because like I'm not like adding very weird maps to our map pool. Like I'm trying them to be balanced, but whenever we are adding something like Heartbeat, when we had Sparkle, everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is so crazy! I will have to play on this map now." And yeah, the players don't like weird maps.
Yeah, I think it's good to get pro players out of their comfort zone, make them play a little bit of weird maps, especially non-ladder maps. That's my favorite. That's one of the reasons that, STPL is kind of hell for players, but I really like it is because it forces players to put effort into practicing instead of just hitting that play again button on the ladder and to like research maps and learn cool things. I really like that, but obviously I'm the caster and they are the players, and so they probably do not like that. So SCV trying to get into the main to scout, but it sneaks by. Is that a flash SCV? How does he do it? Just squeezes through the ramp and he's going to get into the main. Scout, no lair.
Yeah, he scouted no lair, but he don't know how early trutaCz started to mine gas, so he might suspect that it will be fast speed, especially that the lair is in the natural. So maybe if he knows the timings of like regular 2 hatch, he should suspect that trutaCz is having 100 gas for sure. But he's having wall in, so he don't care about it. He will be even happy if he will see that trutaCz is going for mass links.
Yeah, I mean, if he kills this SCVs before it can scout the natural and see the Spire, then that's actually really good. But he is going to see the Spire right as it pops in the natural. And that's pretty much all the information that TerrOr needed right there.
Oh, and we are having the starboard already from TerrOr, so mech play is a way to go for him. Besides second game, where he went just Marines.
Yeah, well. If there was a mech version of BBS, he'd do that one too. I guess that's where you float the factory into your opponent's base. Don't do that. That's even dirtier. But yeah, it's another 1-1-1 build. And I feel like 1-1-1 or just mech openers versus Zerg is kind of a dying breed. The standard way is just build your Marines, build 4 barracks, and then go across the map and try to bust it. But I actually really like this. This is definitely a more long-term kind of play that TerrOr is going for, especially because he's starting Wraith, so he's just going to pick off some easy overlords out there. And I like to see that TerrOr is playing a lot more safely this game. And I mean, he's cross positions on a huge map like Gladiator, so I think he's going to be in a good position.
Oh, he didn't see the Overlord of trutaCz. This is a huge mistake from him, but he's going directly to the vessel, so it's like, it looks like it will be Marines and Medic, but with a very quick vessel from TerrOr. It's like something like dedicated anti-mass muta build or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Fantasy had this weird build where he would, go bio early and then go into, Valkyries and Vessels after that. And I was like, well, that's kind of a weird path to tech into, but it really worked. And it seems like this is kind of the mech version of that, where you're just like, okay, how fast can I get every tech unit that I possibly can out? So he goes all the way up to Wraiths and is now getting a Vessel. And he doesn't actually have ground attacking units right now, Zero.
Yeah, he didn't even build Vulture to like have control over these links in trutaCz natural. So yeah, he's playing very defensively. Like, it looks like he knows what he wants to do, and he's like doing like he's playing his own game. He's playing against environment, like you said in the first cast, I think.
This is PvE. This is a one-player game. TerrOr's gonna scout the whole map and find out he actually has no opponent this game. It's just him trying to practice his build orders. So, I mean, look, he is cutting a lot of corners right now. Other players, they have to do this thing called making units. Not TerrOr, no. He's just...
All-in is enough.
He has 2 Marines, a Wraith, and a lot of SCVs. And I guess those count as army units. But here come the mutas. So let's see if Irradiate, oh wow, Irradiate is going to finish up exactly as these mutas hit. That's so crazy.
And he will have 75 energy. Yeah, you were right. It's like, it's perfect timing vessel. It's 640 and he already have 75 energy and irradiate. So trutaCz needs to be careful. But if trutaCz will be able to select the irradiated mutalisk very quickly, then there will be only turrets left for TerrOr.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that many turrets. He's got like 2 turrets in the main. Oh, he's just gonna run through. He sniped the vessel.
He irradiated SCV.
He irradiated the SCV. TerrOr, I'm
like
hyping
that.
you up here, bro. What was that? We're trying to talk about the perfect irradiate timing. He does what? he one-shot the vessel.
Dedicated anti-muta build. Poor TerrOr.
He's got 2 Marines, Zero.
Yeah, and no barracks. He killed SCVs building barracks, so that's... Oh, and another vessel popped out there, but he still have turret to defend it. But 5 mutas are doing much more damage than I expected.
Get me out of here, Zero. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch this. This is so crazy. He's just found a perfect hole. It's so rare that deep muta dive pays off because you're always going to take a bunch of damage, and usually Terran players have units. He doesn't have any. He's got a Marine. He's going to keep taking SCV damage, and eventually, maybe he finds a way to hang on here. He does complete that turret to protect his production facilities, but he still has 2 unbuilding barracks there. He still can't make units, and this is the most devastating 5 mutas I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, me too. And now trutaCz is having 6 drone advantage. He's mining from the 3rd base. And he's already having Defiler mount and Ultralis cover. What? Oh my god, I watched this muta is too long. And already the full tech from Zerg, so he was not wasting time while macroing. I would have 900 surface and 3 hatcheries, and he's having everything he can.
Yeah, there for a while the second gas was not actually working for TerrOr, so he had a lot less than you would expect him to have. Whereas on the other side, we've got 800 banking for trutaCz, who went straight to Hive and is about to pop 2 Defilers, Consume, and the Ultralisk Cavern. So, yeah, trutaCz is just killing it this game. Nice try, TerrOr. You almost got away with it. If it weren't for those pesky kids and their meddling dog.
But
you watched Scooby-Doo, Zero?
I watched some movies, but I think there was also TV series, like something like that. Yeah. So I didn't watch
that's
TV
the
series.
reference. So anyway, the mystery kids, they go around and they solve mysteries, and then in the end, they pull the mask off of the villain, and the villain says, "I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids and your pesky dog." It's just like it happens every episode. So there's my joke for all of our European viewers. Ha 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 ha. Anyway. Man, TerrOr is finally doing something, Zero. We're going to see him try to attack a Zerg opponent that's got Ultralisk crackling upgrades, Plague, Chitinous Plague.
Oh my god. Yeah, the car base for the Ultras will be done in like 15 seconds. Oh, and there is already Consume, so I don't know how TerrOr will get it to see. Like, after he will see this all tech, he will be probably devastated. Like, oh my god, what time is it? It's like 10th minute of the game, and it's already Ultralisks, Defilers, and everything you can have and you want to have as a Zerg.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Irradiate on that Ultra is actually helping trutaCz because he can just kill the Marines faster with the anti-bio AoE. He was even able to Scourge a vessel. There's Dark Swarm everywhere. I love how TerrOr was the one trying to cut a million corners, and now he gets to feel what it's like to go up against a Zerg player who's also cutting a million corners here. This is crazy. The first game we saw both players really respect each other. They were just macroing really hard, and now we're just watching. Oh, the Marines are stuck hitting an Ultralisk they can't kill, so the Ultralisk that's outside of the Dark Swarm is killing everything. And now it runs out another Dark Swarm. Oh, my God, Himmel. Yeah, this is crazy.
How many vessels there are? There are 2 more vessels, 2 vessels, but with no energy. And vessel is like, I think this is a unit you need to have if you want to fight under the Dark Swarm.
You might have a good point there. Oh, another 2 Scourge connect on a vessel. Only 1 vessel left, and even though the bio is left over, watch this get plagued. Oh, I thought he was gonna plague it. He instead chooses the Dark Swarm. Oh, and another Dark Swarm. Oh, the orange plague, not the red one. This is crazy.
But look at the supplies. It's not like trutaCz is having huge advantage. It's some kind of timing all-in bus. He's having great economy, but he has 70 supplies and 40 drones, so he's having only 30 supply in units.
Yeah, but you don't need that many units, Zero, when your units can't take damage.
Okay,
so,
right.
I love all these units firing at the Ultra that's just chilling under Dark Swarm. And then the Fire Bats try to attack it, but they deal maybe a damage, maybe just single damage to this Ultra.
Yeah, he will
finally
tickle the Ultralisk, and then the Ultralisk is nothing.
There's another double Dark Swarm. Okay, this time he's gonna be able to take this base out. I think TerrOr's gotta get out of this game, Zero.
Yeah, it's like he's fighting because he don't want to face Bonnie in the round of 8, but if it wouldn't be that, he would be out of this game, I think. But
yeah, that's gonna do it. GG. TerrOr taps out, and trutaCz, the BSL Season 7 champion, is advancing on to the winners match coming up in just a little bit.
Yeah, congratulations to him. 2-1 victory over second player on Corrupted Cup, over a player who was like